My name is Chris Plummer, and I'm the senior producer on GoldenEye Rogue Agent.
Okay. First question. Obviously the GoldenEye name has a lot of sway in the video game industry. Do you think that it'll be more of a help or a hindrance towards this game in terms of getting it across because of just the high standing it's held in?
I think it makes it more difficult for us because I think people are going to have really high expectations, which is a good thing. I mean, we want people to have really high expectations, but it's one of those things that is held so sacred that I think a lot of people have an issue with that, and that is what it is. So I think it's actually, it's a help for us because it clearly communicates what's unique about our villain. On the other hand, it has this other connotation, which is what it is, and I'm aware of it. And what can we do? We're not going to change the name of the game because some people are so passionate about the original game. We're in that category. We're super passionate about the original GoldenEye, but we're not upset that our game's got the same name.
Let's see. What can we expect in terms of the voice cast and actual people showing up? Because I've seen the E3 trailer, it has Judi Dench in there with her voice like that. Is there anybody else of note that we can?
We haven't disclosed the entire cast,
Okay.
Although you're probably familiar with a lot of the characters that are going to be in the game, from Dr. No and Oddjob and Pussy Galore, and pretty much the whole suite of classic Bond villains. What we are announcing now is that Christopher Lee will be playing his role as the man with the golden gun, as Francisco Scaramanga, and he is your contact that has procured the GoldenEye and actually supplies you with the upgrade. So just as he was able to acquire technology like the Solar Sagitator, he's sort of your resource in the game that can basically he can get anything, and that's his role in the Bond world. It's his role in our game as well.
Okay. I think I've heard you say that the game is going to be about 20 levels, roundabout. Mm-hmm. And how long do you expect in terms of time play?
Gameplay?
Yeah.
So since we're pre-alpha, the game's not tuned yet, obviously. So we won't know the final length of play until it's better tuned. But right now, I can give you some metrics, right?
Yeah.
So we have 8 missions split up into roughly 20 levels. The Hong Kong mission, which is one of our longer missions, and I'd say about half the missions are that long, and the other half are shorter than that. That one can take 45 minutes for someone to get through the first quarter of it. So that's think about extrapolating that out. I would say the whole mission maybe isn't that same pace. It's probably going to take someone maybe 2 hours to get through that mission if they've never, if they're new to the game. Yeah. And of course, expert players are going to have an easier time. We have easy aim modes and stuff like that people will be able to opt to use as well. So it's going to depend on the combination of what difficulty level, what kind of control scheme you're using, and that sort of thing. But we'll have, we're targeting at a minimum of 12 to 15 hours of gameplay for a skilled player, and then of course people who aren't as familiar with first-person shooters or that sort of thing will take longer to play. Okay. And that's just the campaign.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, a lot of people are excited because now it's going to have Xbox Live support, so you can play it online. Mm-hmm. Will it strictly be the multiplayer deathmatch mode online, or will there be additional online modes?
So online play will support obviously the deathmatch and team deathmatch, but it will also support our other game modes, the team game modes. So we have specific sort of war game modes that are objective based. And we will be supporting those online as well.
Okay. Let's see. And one of the more popular things about the original GoldenEye was some of the cheat modes they had in there. Like they had the paintball mode, they had DK mode. Mm-hmm. Will there be anything like that in the game? Anything that you're working on that might lead towards that?
I wouldn't say that we're spending a lot of time on the cheat modes and kind of like that kind of stuff. We do have a lot of unlockable content and a lot of things that you will not be able to get until you've played certain components of the game, beat them with certain skill levels, that sort of thing. Specifically, the modes you just talked about are not something we're currently planning on doing. Obviously, things like Man with Golden Gun and those sorts of mutators or modifiers to games are supported.
Okay. Now, one thing that you guys have gotten really good at is in Nightfire and Agent Under Fire and in Everything or Nothing, you make the flow of the game like a Bond movie where there's a pre-title sequence, there's a big title song.
Yep.
Can we expect the same from this game?
Yes, although we're doing it with sort of a villainous twist. Okay. So you'll get the same sort of cadence that you would expect from a Bond adventure. But because we're doing as the villain, it's going to sound different. It's going to look a little bit different. We also have more to explain. If you think about it, we're introducing a brand new villain character that's the lead character in the game. Yeah. So we're going to be spending a lot of the effort on sort of things like the title sequence and that sort of thing, setting up the character and making sure people are very familiar with our take on the Bond universe.
Let's see. About how many multiplayer levels can we expect? Because I know we've heard that there will be specific ones for like one-on-one matches. There will be specific ones for 4-player. There'll be specific ones for online, and then also like for like Xbox, it's for system linking. Will that be supported? And will there be any exclusive content for that sort of setup?
So there's several questions in there. So number of maps was the first one. Right now we're planning to have around 16 multiplayer maps, and the number will be close to that. It's really going to depend on when we finally finish testing them all. Are they all really, really fun? And that could mean we have more than that. It could mean we have a few less than that. Right now we have about a dozen really solid multiplayer maps, and those cross the gamut of 2-player, 4-player, and 8-player online maps. So that was kind of the address the first point of your question, and I think you were asking about platform-specific maps or something like that.
Yeah, like because like Xbox supports system linking. I think GameCube.
Okay, yeah, we are supporting. We're supporting System Link on Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Okay, and then will those have any specific maps in them, or will it just be basically the regular maps where we'll be able to play the online maps for that?
You'll be able to play the online maps under System Link, and we're playing around with the idea of adding some platform-specific multiplayer maps. But I want to make sure that we have a really robust set of just fundamental maps that everyone has access to, or at least can unlock first, and then that would be sort of like bonus.
Right. And then we've seen the GoldenEye uplink satellite multiplayer map, and I believe you've also mentioned that there would be a Golden Gate Bridge map that's in the works. Are there any other interesting multiplayer maps in the works, maybe like Scaramouche's Funhouse or like Atlantis or anything of the such?
Can I? Okay. So well, you said some things I'm not going to respond to, but you're basically on the same page with sort of what we want to do. I just say it that way. But what I can say is some of the other multiplayer maps. Speaking about duels, you'd mentioned the Golden Gate Bridge and Uplink, the pyramids from Spy Who Loved Me. So when Jaws and Bond had a big duel with the pyramids, that's a map that we're actually, it's a really fun 2-player and 4-player map. We have 2 different modes of that map. So there's a 2-player duel version, and there's a different version of it that's geared for 4 players. We also have GoldenEye's Retreat, which is sort of it's almost like a villain's ski lodge retreat up in the mountains. It's not really a ski lodge, but it's up in this like snowy mountaintop, and it's really cool. It's got lots of neat death traps that, like, if you had your own little villainous lair that you would have, to trap people. Like, they get down by your rip-roaring fireplace where there's lots of cool pickups and stuff, and then you get by the bar and hit the button, the fireplace flames up and burns everybody. It's just fun stuff like that. Over by the hot tub, there's a button that, like, the paintings will slide open and machine guns shoot out. And so there's a lot of fun stuff in that one. But I mean, that's just scratching the surface. And we showed at E3, we were given a sneak peek at some of the Moonraker multiplayer content as well. That's more geared for online play. So that's a little taste of it. And then we have other maps that we haven't disclosed details on yet. I think Atlantis is one that we have talked about already. So that one's a pretty cool one, geared for team play. Okay. So you'll be able to have 4-player team play in Atlantis.